Paula, Bunny, and I, we get to check with our special guests, Z Kennedy and Tiana Haygood. Welcome, ladies.
Hi, thanks for having us.
Welcome.
So our team tonight, we're very grateful that you two have accepted the request to join us in our mission to educate and inform our communities about different subjects surrounding individuals with disabilities. Tonight, we get to hear from Z and Tiana. We are thrilled to have individuals of your passion making a significant difference in the lives of those you serve right here in Michigan. So it's always like a sweet treat for me when we have guests that's representing from where I'm located. So ladies, we're going to start tonight where we would like for you to introduce yourselves and tell us a bit about yourself. And we're going to start with Tiana. So Tiana, talk to us.
Well, hi, everybody. First of all, thank you for having me on tonight. I am Tiana, the founder of Feed the Need Sensory Zone and co-founder of the Unique Care Connect Community Center, both located here in Washtenaw County, Michigan. I am a mom of two very hyper little boys. Well, not so little. One is 7 and one is 10. My 10-year-old Levi has been diagnosed with autism, and he's my inspiration and my drive. He is very outgoing when he wants to be and stubborn other times. He has a very big personality, and he and his brother, they are my world. I'm also married. Been married for about 12 years. I like to ride motorcycles. That's my outlet. I will get on 2 wheels in a heartbeat. I just love to serve the community. I'm really big on sensory toys, sensory fidgets, just sensory. That's where Levi and I really bond over, just sensory friendly activities. That's just a little bit about me in a nutshell. Yeah, just happy to be here.
Thank you, Tiana. Z, let's hear from you.
My name is Z Kennedy, and I'm the co-founder of Unique Care Connect Community Center. As Tiana mentioned, we're located in Ann Arbor, Michigan. So about 15 years ago, I took over guardianship of my mentally disabled sister. And throughout that entire process, I've felt quite alone and didn't really have any knowledge or any of the actual support that I needed to get through it. So she's been my inspiration through all of this, and is the reason why I am basically making my life's work to make sure that these adults, especially that age out of the system after age 26, have everything that they possibly need. And not only for the adults, but also for those with younger individuals with special needs that will transition through adulthood. So that way, by the time their youngsters turn, into 18, 26, they'll have all the support that they possibly need. And a little bit about myself, I was disabled for many years. I know what it feels like to stare at a wall all day and not be able to leave the house, not be able to do things. So we are making it so that these things are possible for individuals that suffer from not only intellectual and developmental disabilities, but those who also suffer from mental health and all sorts of abilities in all ages. So just, yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. So I do want to make it clear, in our state, in the state of Michigan, a lot of services can follow students up to age 26. And a lot of other states, pretty much across the nation, the majority of the states, a lot of services, it kind of stops at age 21. So This is probably new to a lot of our viewers hearing this, Z, when you said that. I didn't want to just like brush over it, because people might be like, hold up, 26, that's, and that's one of the things that I do enjoy being a resident of Michigan. So I do like that you did bring that up. But, we are mindful that in other states, 21 is usually that age limit. And if we notice it here in our state after 26, imagine how other states are feeling of caregivers and guardians of individuals with disability. So thank you
in Maryland, for sure, it's 21.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
I think it's like that a lot of places. And so you guys are business partners. Can you explain that?
Well, yes. So I started Feed Me back in 2021. Um, and I'm skipping a bunch of steps here, but so I did that. But I also did my due diligence. I was trying to figure out, you know, I'm working here on just the sensory end. What else is going on in this community? Who is advocating for those? Because Levi's 10 now, and I'm like, what is he going to do once he reaches high school and once he graduates or moves on past high school? What is going on? So I did a deep dive on Facebook, and you can't really do or you can't really search for resources or advocates for those that are 26 plus in our community without these names popping up. So that's kind of how I first heard of her. And what's interesting to me, even to this day, one of the members that she's been a friend of, helping to advocate for resources for. He was actually one of my high school classmates, and so such and such, and she was like, "Yeah, that's like my boy," and I'm like, "Oh, well, yeah, we were cool too." So when we went to the center, start doing things together. We have our guide just there with us, and it's just one big happy family. And then so for me, sharing where I was and I'm looking to do, because I don't want to just do things just for my son. I want to do things for the community that we're going to live in. My home is here. I'm not going anywhere. So we figured, let's just start bridging this gap. I'm learning things every day from her. And I'd like to say I'm teaching her a couple things. I don't know, it's Z. She a little difficult. But no, we're like sisters. We're like sisters. We immediately find that we have very similar passions for this community, and we just want to do what's best. So we figure we're stronger together. There's no such thing as competition when you're in this field. So we're like, let's just join together and really make this place a home. So
we're stronger together. I like that.
I love it. Z, you mentioned your sister. How old is your sister?
She is 40 years old. She'll be 41 in March.
But I was listening to something the other day, and I guess that's just life, period. But I think it's that once we're faced with something, it kind of pushes us into the field that we're supposed to be in. So I think, like you said, the fact that you had your sister and you needed your sister to have resources, and then something that you said just with your disability, you know, that pushes you to see the lack of in a community, and it pushes you to say, okay, I know what I needed. I know what my sister needed. So now let me pursue that. And as a result, you start finding out there are other deficiencies as it relates to the disability community. So I think most of us can attest to the fact that we didn't find that there was a deficiency until we were faced with it.
Mhm.
Oh yeah, I can agree to that.
Yeah.
And so Z, can you share with us your business? What do you do at the Unique Care Connect Community Center?
everything.
Come
So
on, Z, shine this
a
light.
little bit of everything. Like Tiana said, I'm a little stubborn, and honestly, without Tiana, like we are an amazing team because you're kind of experiencing the best of both worlds, right? She's a beautiful mother that has an amazing son with autism, and she got to experience his upbringing and throughout his childhood, and I didn't get to do all those things with my but through adulthood. So it's almost like we both have very similar experiences, but very different. And for those with children with special needs, it's that fear of the unknown. So basically, what Unique Care Connect Community Center is about, I'd like to view it as the heart of the county of Washtenaw County here in Ann Arbor. and throughout, just other counties as well, and cities that we are kind of close to. So we accept anyone from anywhere. You don't have to live in Washtenaw County to participate in our events and our programs. So basically, like it's not about competing; it's about collaboration and bringing the community together. So ideally, we're trying to provide all the resources and point you in the right direction, because there are so many organizations currently already in place that offer so many amazing programs and events, for whether it's for a specific ability or for job skills or respite care or whatever it may be. But we want the families to know that if you are here at the center, you are pointed to in our direction, we will help kind of walk this with you. Again, as I mentioned, I felt kind of alone throughout the 15 years. They're just like, you're on your own, good luck. So I don't want these families to feel that way. And especially when their children turn into adults and transition to adulthood, it's a whole different game. And there's so many difficulties that are involved with that. So just to kind of give them something to look forward to, just a little bit of hope to help them continue moving forward. So we actually offer programs throughout the day. We do, we have life skills, job skills. Actually, Tiana has an amazing job skills program that she started every Tuesday morning, where she teaches them how to make hats and T-shirts, and we're going to start making cups soon. And then that way they can see the amazing work that they've done, and then kind of sharing it with the community as well. And we during the summertime we'll have like outside events such as picnics or summer camps. And we offer a Make a Friend program every Monday from 1 to 3. And typically what you'll do, they'll just come in and drink some coffee. And it's more of a social kind of space. It's a safe space to just kind of feel like you could be yourself. And that's the one thing that my sister always told me every time she's attended all these programs is like, hey, I feel like I don't belong there. I'm not comfortable. And she never wanted to go back. So my entire purpose is to make them want to come back, to give them something to look forward to that next day. So when they go home that night, they're like, okay, well, Wednesday, we've got this going on and we're going to have something to do, rather than just sitting at home and not doing anything all day long. So, we've got a little bit of everything. Music, we've got a support group that Tiana actually put together for the parents and guardians and caregivers every Monday morning from 10 to 12. And anyone's welcome. And basically all we do is just talk, drink some coffee and donuts. You'll hear a lot that we drink a lot of coffee and eat a lot of donuts. It's kind of like the highlight of everyone's day.
You need that coffee.
So simple, but everyone looks full. Exactly. So I don't even drink coffee, and I look forward to making the coffee. But it's just a beautiful space. It's amazing to watch the growth, the friendships being built, not only amongst one another, but with us as well. Like Tiana and I got a whole new family. Our phones are ringing every second of the day. They just want to tell us the littlest thing, like, hey, I got a pair of new shoes. We're like, okay. Awesome. They're like, all right, bye. See you tomorrow. And it just brings so much. And that's what we're trying to do, is just, we want to bring joy to these individuals' lives, because they're special. I mean, everyone's fighting something. We each have our own battle, but to be able to fight something together as a whole, knowing that you're not alone as a team, it's just a beautiful thing to watch.
That is amazing. I
love it.
Like that in Maryland.
Yes, I do too.
Now, you said that your sister at that one point that she did not want to go back. What did you change to entice her to come back?
So it's more of them not feeling obligated to just do one thing. So when you come to our community center, they don't have to participate in the program that we have in place. If you want to just go sit on the couch and just relax, go ahead. If you want to leave after 20, 30 minutes, go ahead. If you want to show up 45 minutes and sit down for just 5 minutes and leave, you're welcome to. It's a free space to just know that they have some sort of outlet. And my sister is probably a little bit more stubborn than me. I don't know. But she doesn't like to sit still for too long.
Okay.
Yeah, she'll come and just be like, Tiana, she'll hang out with Tiana for a little bit. Hey, Tiana, like have a good conversation with her. Then she'll give me a hug. Where's my money? All right, I gotta go. But just to see her, for her to go, it's the highlight of my day. I'm like, okay, she got out of the house today. She's doing something different. And to her, it's like she feels the love. You know, when she comes in, we've got another member, hey, give me a hug. And she'll get a big hug from him and she'll talk about it. You know, we host a fashion show once a year and she's still talking about that day till this day, just saying, I liked what it felt like to get my hair done, to get pampered, to get my makeup done, to look beautiful and feel beautiful for a day. Um,
Mhm.
and that's it. You know, it's they're free to do whatever. And anytime I ask the members too, like, why is it that you like coming here? Every one of them will tell me the same exact thing because they always say because we can be ourselves. And
Mhm.
you know,
Mhm.
after a day or two, or you know, one or two people, I'm just like, what does that mean? But then over time, you see that it's because there's we're all just we treat each other the same.
Yeah.
Whether you're nonverbal or you can drive, you can't drive, whether you suffer a mental health or a developmental disability, it doesn't matter. We don't view your disability. We're just viewing you as you and trying to get to know who you are. So I think that's kind of what makes us a little different and why, you know, it's something special and magical, I feel.
I like that. I like that.
I
I
have
need.
a couple of questions too. I mean, as you were talking, I'm envisioning my daughter who has a very, you talk about stubborn with your sister. You haven't met Morgan. Um, but I'm envisioning me living in your area and I'm envisioning me bringing Morgan in. First of all, my first question is, and I'm not going to take over the session because sometimes I can run with my questions. But my thing is, what are your age ranges for your centers for both of you guys?
All ages, all abilities. We our
Oh,
youngest
yes.
member right now is she's 18 months. No, she's almost 2 years old now.
I believe,
And then
yeah,
our oldest member, I want to say is
we'll be about
50.
50, 56,
Wow.
Wow, that is
56. Yep.
awesome.
I
Wow.
love it. I love
And
it.
it's so
Now,
cute. We have like the 30 somethings that will sit there and hold the baby. Oh, we want the baby. Well,
oh
they call
my
her the baby.
goodness.
Mhm.
Yeah, everybody just there's no like clicks. There's no everybody just wants to come and have a good
Mhm.
time. We love everyone that walks in the door or crawls. Um, it's all around a good time.
Yeah.
Well, and I'm speaking from again from my daughter Morgan, who since she's been born, I always felt like she didn't belong anywhere, and I mean that was part of some of my my frustration because when they would sit, they never had any daycare centers in our area that were specific to my daughter. But I would go to a regular daycare center and they were like, oh no, we can deal with her, we can handle her, we can this, we can that. But it was always me getting calls all day long while I was trying to work. When it came time to them planning activities, there were never any activities geared toward her, things she can do. It was activities where she can sit and watch everybody. So those were things that, it was so frustrating to me as a parent. Can you tell me, because as we know there are so many different disabilities with so many different capabilities, can you all tell me how do you cater to my daughter who's nonverbal and she's stubborn, but you have another child that is very eager to be able to do things and they're physically capable of doing it, and then you have an older person. I mean, it's like, how do you cater to the needs of so many of your age groups as well as capabilities and different things?
That's a good
I
question.
think that's so we have a lot of individuals that are very independent and they'll just come and they like to help the other members. So we have those that want to help the other members that need it because it gives them something to feel like, okay, we're helping, and it makes them
Mhm.
feel good. And I believe it's part of their healing. And it's honestly it's special to watch because we have members that will call and say, hey, how is so and so doing? And if they see them struggling, they will help. And our members, the way we are with each other, whether you're nonverbal or you're 5 or you're an infant, whatever you may be, they're always helping each other. And we always have more than just one activity. So on a daily basis, whether it's a repeat of the same activities for someone new who's coming in who hasn't quite experienced that activity yet, we're just always doing something. We got one that'll just drink coffee. We've got another that wants to just go in the other sensory room and just turn on all the lights and relax. We've got sensory friendly activities for those that want to create something or want to touch and feel and see. And we've got others that just want to sit back and just enjoy the scenery, because really it's a beautiful thing to watch everyone just kind of working together as a team. And that's the amazing thing too, because we have one gal, she's nonverbal and she's in a wheelchair, but she's so loved by everyone that they will actually fight for who's helping her. And it's horrible to see, because just wanting to help without even us telling them to. And that's kind of what we're trying to do. And we do have families, the parents will stick around as well. Not all of them, some of them, because they also want to be a part of it and they want to help the other members as well. So it's almost like they get a moment to watch their loved one, thrive while helping out someone else's, child that made it. And I think that that's also part of the healing process for the families as well. So I believe we work well together, and it just, again, it's become such a family that when someone new comes in, they're also welcoming, like, okay, what can we do to help them? Do this with them, Z, do this with them, Tiana, like you guys did this last week. And it's, we'll always find something, some way to work together ultimately.
I love it.
Good. I love that. Now I
That's
know
awesome.
that your businesses are successful right now, but what were some of your roadblocks that you faced in the beginning?
I'll go first.
I see Tiana smiling. I saw Tiana smiling.
No, it was not, I mean,
I'm gonna stay quiet.
no, with Feed the Need, I started right after a pandemic, or in the midst of a pandemic. So that was one thing. Marketing was hard. I'm not a big social media person. So yeah, marketing was very hard. As far as challenges, it was just, during the time, it was basically every parent for themselves. We're just trying to get through this pandemic. All the therapy centers are closed. The schools are closed. Everything is just closed. What are we going to do? We don't really care too much about this nonprofit that's just starting off. If it's not established and already giving the services, we're more concerned about just, what's going on in our own homes. For me, when it came down to putting together this community center, honestly, I wouldn't say we hit too many roadblocks. If I were to pick something, it would be the fact that Z is a boss, I am a boss, and we're coming together. We have the same heart, but we have very different methods of operation. But roadblock, I would not call it a roadblock at all. If anything, it's just another opportunity for growth. I think it's safe to say Z and I have not had any blowouts, meltdowns, none of that. And it's evident in the love that's in the center. So I honestly cannot think of any major hurdles or roadblocks. We're still young. Our organizations are still young, and we're still building. And there's some challenges, but nothing has really held us up or stopped us or anything like that. I believe that if you start things the right way and maintain your integrity throughout the process, that doors will continue to open.
Awesome.
Yes, I agree. And when you guys were talking about how families of the individuals there, how they're sometimes they're staying there as well. I was wondering, are there like opportunities for like families to be involved?
Oh, absolutely. Go ahead, Z.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, definitely. you know, we're trying to focus on the entire family, not just the sibling, the parents, the individuals. We have a lot of parents that want something to do. They also need that outlet as well. So a lot
Exactly.
of our families that we currently have in place, you know, these parents are the ones who are actually volunteering. You know, we've got one of our members, his mom is teaching our music class. We've got another that's going to start a cooking class for us soon.
Oh
Um,
wow.
and we do a potluck every month where everybody pitches in. So we definitely are looking for volunteers. We can use more faces so they don't have to look at me and Tiana every day. So that would be nice. We're always willing to grow. We're always learn to be willing to collaborate and work as a team. And I think that's kind of why, going back to like the roadblock, we don't have any because we're always trying to continue growing together and not apart. So anyone who wants to come and participate and be a part of this family, I mean, the more the better, because it's giving these individuals, especially those with guardians, with legal guardians that were court appointed, who don't necessarily have any family, you know, we have become a family to them that now they have, you know, like whether it's the member or their parent, you know, they have an addition, someone, you know, new in their life that they wouldn't
Yeah.
have come across otherwise. So anyone that wants to be involved, please give us a call and stop by if you want to run a program, or even do
Yeah.
outside events, or even offer your business to come and teach, you know, them or give them a job skill to do, or give them a possibility to be hired into your business,
Oh, that would
whatever
be
it may be,
awesome.
just kind of working together. Yeah.
That's really
Oh,
good.
that's
Uh,
Oh my
uh,
goodness, that's
uh, uh,
awesome.
another question along with what Crystal had just asked. With the parents that's coming in, are there any coaching opportunities, training for parents that you said went through the court system, perhaps, and they have guardianship over the person now? Are there any opportunities for coaching or training for the parents?
That's one of the things that we're actually in the process of working on now. We have a college professor that is coming in that will be providing trainings as far as behavioral development, and answering
Mm,
questions regarding that, as well as how to handle IEPs, IEP
mm,
meetings. Those are always fun. Um,
I'm working on one now.
right, yeah. IEP season is coming. And then we also, collaborate with other local organizations. So if they have an event that is educational, we also, advertise those events for them. Um, and, kind of have our parents go over there, or, we're just
mhm.
all just trying to work
Mhm.
together to make sure that everyone has access, and knowledge of the resources that are in our area.
That's
I
amazing.
love it. I think that's
Mm.
just
Mhm.
that's the key, what you just said as I'm listening to you and Z talk, is access to the resources. So I
Mhm.
Absolutely.
really changed my language about well, I really didn't speak like this, but I hear it. There's nothing for my kid, or and I don't always agree that there's nothing. I just think that I'm not informed and I don't
Yeah.
know what's out there. And so as I'm listening to you two talk, you're sharing that we're connected to other resources that you may not just was aware of, and we can kind of point you in the right direction. We can get you coaching, we can get you training, we can help you better understand a process of maybe obtaining guardianship, because a lot of people, it gets really murky when we're going from public school setting to
Mhm.
adulthood, that young adulthood, and that transitioning. And it doesn't look as clean cut to a lot of parents, a lot of guardians, a lot of caregivers, that you're in a position of really trying to find your way. And it sounds like you guys provide a great resource, like, hey, we can kind of really help you along the way of how to handle some things. So I really like this. This is very helpful to me, being the mom of a 23-year-old that I do not want to age out. I want to
Mhm.
phase her out. And if you can
Mhm.
understand that, I
Mhm.
don't want her to age out at 26 and be like, well, what's next?
Mhm.
I want her to phase
Yeah.
out and to have things set up for her. And something that Z really said that is major to me is like that social interaction. being
Yes.
in an
Mm.
environment where you feel like this is safe, I'm having a good time, this feels like family, like social interaction, because that
Mhm.
that kind of looks a
Mhm.
little for me as a parent of a young adult, it looks different. And I think Z kind of gave us an idea of like what she just gave us a small idea of what it has looked like with your sister. And I know you could really give us detail. I don't want to say I'm fearful. I'm not fearful. It's just sometimes the unknown and
Yeah.
how that looks, because when
Yeah.
you're around a lot of social and then it stops, you know it's just, it looks different. And that's something that I am trying to prepare myself, so you guys are really helping me tonight.
Well, I have a question too. I do have a question. I think one thing you guys talked about was um, jobs and different things. I know that, of course, my daughter is 19, so that's things that I hear a lot about. Is some of these kids, one thing my daughter looks for is she looks for praise. She loves to do things. Some people may look at it and say she can't do, the typical job, which she probably can't, but she can do something. Do you all partner with companies, or is that something you're looking forward to doing, to have some of your people to work like with some of these companies? Because I think some things that they do have job placement, but again, most people, like Crystal said, they just say, well, it's nothing for my child, but it's not that. It's just the fact that they don't know where to begin. So with you guys, do you work with some companies or anybody to kind of partner with them to find out what these kids likes and dislikes are? And then I know that's part of the transition program, but is that something that you guys look to get involved in, or is that something you're involved in at this point?
Yeah, so like part of our job skills program, ideally what's behind that is helping them build their resume. So that way they have the experience that they will need to get these jobs, because lots of times these jobs need you to have some sort of experience. So providing that experience for you, but also offering an incentive as well. We have a member who we've actually helped him apply for some jobs as well. And that way he can have some sort of resume to work with for those jobs. We actually got him a job a few doors down from our center, just kind of trying to connect with other businesses. Met with Sweetwater's yesterday, Sweetwater's Coffee and Tea, and I asked them as well. I'm like, hey, will you guys be willing to hire individuals with special needs? Can we work together in some way where we can bring some of our members to you and kind of build this experience and give them these opportunities that they wouldn't have elsewhere? So we're definitely working on that. And essentially down the line, Tiana can actually tell you a little bit more about what Feed the Need would like to do, but just kind of helping provide some of these jobs for them when we are able to do that and stand on our own 2 feet to provide some jobs to these individuals as well.
And on top of that, there are a couple of organizations that we are aware of and working to collaborate with as far as being able to send some of our members over to them for job placement. There are some organizations that are in the Washtenaw County area. Like I said, we are all about collaboration. So um, but the lists, and I know Crystal probably has heard of this, but the lists are very short, or very long wait lists, but very few opportunities. So, like Z said, we will go door to door and say, hey, will you hire, our members? And we've had a little luck with that. One of the things that Feed the Need has started doing is we've been, just dabbling a little bit with making, t-shirts. And we've gotten to the point to where we have a pretty good system going. We have a good supplier of the shirts. We have the equipment. We've been blessed with really good donors. So we have the equipment that we need in order to produce shirts and mugs and hats and just things like that. So we've been slowly introducing the heat press, of course, making sure everything is sensory friendly and safe. So slowly introducing the equipment to our members at the community center. And what we are planning to do is to move forward with that and actually form an actual business, hire, work on resumes, so work on actual job skills. We mentioned our one of our members that is in a wheelchair. She's nonverbal, and you know, on the outside, people will probably write her off and say that there's not much that she can do. But she is one of the hardest workers that we have right now. She doesn't see it as work, I'm sure. But you know, you have the vinyl that you're putting on the heat press, and you need to peel it off. She will sit there and she'll peel off she'll do 50, just keep going. And then so we make it into a multi-step process. You peel it off, you put the shirt here, you turn around, you put the paper in the trash. So it gives her, the fine motor. It gives her something to occupy herself. And then of course, she feels that pride, like, look at this stack that you just did, So we're working to make it accessible, this just gifts and t-shirts, an accessible company.
So in a sense, you're creating jobs for them.
We're going to do whatever it takes to enable
I love it.
access to resources for everyone that comes in the center.
I love that.
That's what we're willing to do.
We've got big plans.
And again,
they are so much more capable.
Yeah.
I do have another question. Again, all of my questions is because, of course, I have my Morgan Pop. And so when I think about her coming to these centers, these are some of the things that I would ask. How are you guys prepared to deal with like medical issues, such as my daughter has a seizure condition? Do you have people, and I'm sure you may, but how do you deal with them from a medical standpoint, and how kind of work on them from a medical, like from the seizure condition? Because I'm sure all of them have a range of medical issues. Are you prepared for that, or how do you handle that?
At this time, we're not 100% prepared for complex medical conditions, but those that do have them, that do come to the center, we do have their parents still or guardians still come. Even if it's checking in every hour on the hour. As you build a center like this, there's liability insurance. So there's things that we're still building up to. Our building has only been open since, what was it, August or September of 2023?
Yeah, August.
So that's one of the things that we're in the process of doing, is getting that liability insurance, making sure that, that we are completely safe for everyone. But like I said, until then, we do have the parents come in, or the caretakers come in that are, or someone that's licensed come in and make sure that they handle those that are more medically fragile or complex.
So when you're saying you're moving forward to that, it's that like having a medical staff on your team?
That's one of the things we're working on.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yes, it would be. Yes, it would be. Wow.
Well, I mean, we're hearing about
Covering
a
things
lot
from
of.
every possible angle.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Z.
Oh
She
no,
said
I was
we're
just saying we're
covering-
covering everything. We're trying to cover things from every possible angle. So that is the goal that we are trying to accomplish.
Absolutely. I think that is so important, and that you put that out there so people can know. And that it sounds like even with the volunteers that you were requesting, like, hey, we could use a medical person as well to volunteer their time. So I really like to hear that. And with all that you guys are doing with the individuals at the center throughout the day, I think I heard 6 days a week. How are you guys able to fund this?
Well, we have some really great donors. Really, like our families, they give what they can, and we are grateful for them. But we've been blessed to have some really good donors as well. And then we also have received a grant, and we're working on more. We have been Ooh, we multiple streams of income. That was the phrase that I told Z earlier today. We're working on, like we said, we're going to provide resources from every angle. We're trying to also gather in the funding from every possible angle. So whether it's corporate sponsorships, community donors, the grants, we are working on. We've been selling the T-shirts. We're actually about to start selling the mugs, I believe Z mentioned. So yeah, just anything possible. We actually had a local choir put on a concert, a fundraising concert, and that was really fun. That was beautiful. So the community is really stepping up, and we're completely grateful.
Now,
Miss
I
McKenna.
really like that.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we'll be
That
having
is.
a gala, fashion show gala as well. And we're hoping that'll bring in some more major sponsors. And like Tiana said, we've had quite a few generous sponsors to help us get where we are today. But we're fairly new. We've only been open for a few months. So we, of course, as always, accepting donations or new sponsors or business sponsors or anyone who can help us kind of continue moving forward. To help with this, because we are trying to do something different that doesn't quite exist out in this area, and it takes a team, so it takes a community, and so far we've been really blessed.
And you said only a couple of months that you've been
Yes,
open?
that's what I said. Wow.
Wow.
Well, since
And now
let's see,
recap
oh wait, no,
too.
August 1st. I'm sorry, so 4 or 5 months now. Yeah.
That's
Wow.
great.
We didn't
That's
really
You
start
guys have
getting things
accomplished a
going till
lot.
closer to yeah.
And our
Time's
recap
going by really
also,
fast.
I don't know if you want to tell us on here, but in our recap also, we would list ways that people could make donations to you if you
Yes.
wanted to tell people now. But we'll definitely include it in our recap of our podcast, today's story, how people can donate, how people can, continue to help you guys to move forward, because this is really, really great. This is, I know for me, this is something that I've wanted to have in our community for some time, because every summer, every holiday, when I have to work, I cringe at the fact that I have nowhere to take my daughter. And a lot of the times I'm working, but at the same time to have to work and take care of her, make sure she eats, make sure she potties, make sure she has what she needs, it can be kind of frustrating. And I think just like some of our kids are forgotten, the parents are forgotten, we that people are forgetting the fact that we still have to work. And that's one thing I've said for years: I still have to work. I still had a son in college. I had to make sure our needs were provided for. But when it came time to the holidays or the summer, I cringed. I like some parents will look, and my sister will look forward to her kids are going to be out of school. She don't have to worry about homework anymore. I cringe because I didn't have anywhere to send Morgan. And
Right.
I'm like, what am I going to do? So the first thing I do want to ask too is, are you guys planning to expand? I know you just starting or whatever, because this needs to happen in every state. And then also about, do you all have like a summer camp process, or is that something you're working towards?
Z? Okay. Well, as far as I didn't know she was going to speak.
I may ship Morgan up and
It was
send her to
freezing, so I
Michigan.
wasn't sure if someone was talking. I didn't want to overtalk.
Yeah, I may
Oh,
ship Morgan to
The big
Michigan if you
plan
all
is
have
to
a summer
definitely
program.
go ahead, Z.
that's yeah, it's definitely the plan to expand further. That's the goal here. And again, right now we're starting, but eventually, once things pick up, once we can make sure that this community center is set, and that's just speaking in regards to the community center, we'll be able to take over another building. Pretty soon, we are actually going to be offering a full adult care program, which
Wow.
right now, currently, it takes 3.5 years just to even be able to get accepted for it. So we're hoping within the next few weeks, we're just kind of waiting on a few openings here. We'll be able to bring in another organization to the community center, and they'll be able to offer a full adult program. And let's say we get that going, maybe even taking over, another building and kind of expanding that further. Because again, it's more about bringing the organizations together and help
Yeah.
uplifting one another. And then once we can get the adult program going, some respite care going, some jobs going, and hopefully even help with providing housing, because that was one of my things with my sisters is finding her a good safe home to live in. These group homes, I mean, it takes almost a year or two just to find a home, and then by the time I move her in, sign a lease, she's ready to move out after 4 days. So just making sure that there's access to everything. So the big picture, the goal, the dream, absolutely, to expand further. And I know with Tiana, with her goals with Feed the Need, she's taken things to a whole new level with that. And I think together with everything, it's going to be amazing where everything is available to everyone.
I love it. Come on, Tiana.
Well, I'm excited. The community center is, like we said, the heart of our community. And I do have a unique position being the founder of the Feed the Need Sensory Zone and the co-founder of the community center. So I get to do everything. So that just, really makes my heart happy. But I heard somebody mention that they're in Maryland, the Baltimore area, maybe somewhere around there. Hopefully not the Baltimore area, just Maryland.
No, that's over like an hour away, probably an hour and a half from us.
Well, if you're willing to make the drive, Feed the Need is coming to Baltimore, Maryland.
Oh my goodness.
We have partnered.
Tell us more.
Yeah.
We have a partnership that we are still in the process of finalizing everything, because, Michigan is a little drive from Maryland, but we are partnering with the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World, because not only are we trying to impact just the secular community, but also the religious community as well.
Yes.
Oftentimes, and I know with my son, oftentimes I've been in churches and, people will look at him like, no, that boy is too loud, or, there just are not any, the accommodations that he needs in order for my family to be able to, enjoy, worship. But what I love about what the Pentecostal Assemblies of the World is doing, they're willing to open up their doors and to try to make things more sensory friendly and accessible. So at their international convention this year, which will be in Baltimore,
Yep.
We're going to Baltimore and we are going to open up a sensory room out there. So super excited about that.
That is exciting to hear.
I'm hoping that we can attend. I'm excited.
Is that for the week of the convention? It's just going to be for that week?
That's the plan. That's the plan.
That is amazing.
I would love to attend.
Because Paula, we can take this back to our organization because our convention is in July, which is after PAW's convention.
No, it's before.
When is PAW?
At the end of July. I believe it's the end of July.
Well, that's okay. I'm definitely, I'm interested in attending. I'm excited. I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I think I'm going anyway. Yeah.
One of the people did have a question too. I know we've been talking, but someone had a question on Instagram and they said, what is your current capacity? I mean, and do you have a limit as far as your capacity right now?
As far as people in the building, we are at, I believe it's 40. Is that about right, Sue?
Yeah, about 40. Yeah, and we do have people sign up ahead of time as well, so we can make sure that we are well prepared and we can start dividing classes up too. So say someone's interested in one particular program, we can kind of spread it out into two and have 2 time offerings that day.
So of the 40, how many of those would be in the special needs community outside of your volunteers?
I would say about 70% in the special needs community.
Okay.
30% caretakers and parents.
Okay. That's really good.
And that depends on the day. Things can fluctuate, but.
Do you sponsor events where
our monthly potlucks are good?
Uh-oh.
Go ahead, Z. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead. No, that's okay. My computer. See, when I start talking. Oh, no, I was just saying our monthly potlucks is when we have all of the members members, as well as their loved ones and siblings. They all will come and attend together. And sometimes we get up to 50 people. I mean, it can get pretty busy in there. But
Okay.
yeah, it's a little bit of everyone.
This is when I say this is awesome. I mean, one thing that I did put on a flyer is a place of their own, and I definitely feel like this is a place of their own.
Yes.
I think sometimes that you know special needs individuals need to understand, walk in a room and see people like them in order for them to be comfortable. And I know one of the things that my daughter deals with at her age, she deals with a lot of um, sensory issues. She also is nonverbal. So, her socialization is a little off. We force her into environments, but it's environments that we feel comfortable with, maybe not particularly her. So I
Mhm.
think that that definitely is something that, your center, I'm just marveling at it because I know for myself, it's something I've wanted to do for years in our area because, again, you just feel like they don't belong anywhere. Another thing that I know you guys touched on is respite care. Can you go into a lot of your respite care? Because I think that's definitely a deficiency. And I think that's across the board, not just in our community, everywhere, because most parents do not get the time that they need. We have some single parents. I was just a single parent for like 14, 15 years. And then you have some couples who don't get that time together that they need, because within that family is still a marriage. So how do you guys to how do you all promote respite care, and is that something that you're still working on, or is that something that you're able to provide now?
It's something we're currently in the process of working on. So we are trying to become the point of contact. So that way we have the respite care workers that are looking for jobs and families to
Mhm.
work with. And we have all the families that are looking for respite care staff because it is quite challenging to find your own respite care workers. So if we can all work together with different organizations, whether it's University of Michigan, some college students, or whomever,
Yes.
there's a lot of people out there interested in finding these positions. So it's all about where do they go to find these families. So we are trying to become that place where they can, go to, and we can say, hey, this family needs your help. And we have actually someone else that we work very closely with who essentially will have, his own respite care organization going on pretty soon here. And
Wow.
then essentially that can actually combine everything together, whether you're looking for a provider or a respite care worker or the families, somehow we're all connected. And again, that brings us back to being the heart of the community. We are trying to make sure that if you come to us, we will find those people for you so we can make sure you have everything that you need.
How do you vet those people? How do you check their
So
background
through
and things like
connections,
that?
Okay.
Well, we also
yeah.
use
So most of the respite, yeah, and
yeah, we
most of
also
them
use
too, if they're coming from
in
another,
Are you guys
I'm
also, are
sorry,
you
Z. Go
willing
ahead.
to work? I'm sorry. Are you all willing to work with some folks in different areas that are interested in opening centers? Are you guys? I know you got a lot on your plate right now, but I think a person like myself, I definitely would love to open a center in my area. Would you guys? I know again we talked about partnerships and not competition, but just giving our families what they need. Are you all willing to assist parents that are willing to open centers for their children? And if so, again, maybe that's something we can provide in our closeout statement or our synopsis of the podcast to list your information, because I know for myself I would love to get in touch with you guys so that I can get started, because that's definitely what I would love to do.
Oh, absolutely. My family travels, so I would
Mhm.
love to have a place like this wherever we go. So I know that
Yeah.
my son at least has a safe place to go to. So, um, yeah, that would be wonderful.
I'm in awe with you ladies. I'm just so
Yeah, we
impressed. And I'm not just saying that. I'm so impressed because I know Crystal, we talked over the years. I've talked with my family and most of the people that are closest to me, they know this is something that I've wanted to do. And when I came to Michigan, Crystal was like, we have got to go see this center. We didn't get a chance to, but I would love to have a place where Morgan can call her own. And like you said, Tiana, and I've said this for years, it's not just about Morgan. It's about everybody having a place that on weekends they're just not sitting there and just with electronics, but they're being exposed to different things. I would love to have gardens where they can, most of the kids love to plant. I think at some of the schools they have that. So just different activities that some of them are never been exposed to, and that they could really just consider it a place of their own. And it's a self-fulfillment thing.
It is. It
Mhm.
is. Absolutely. And before we end this session, one of the things that I would like to ask is, as someone that lives in the Southeast Michigan area, they're hearing about you guys today. They're hearing about the Unique Care Connect Community Center. They're hearing about Feed the Need Sensory Zone. And they're wondering, like, oh, I never heard. How can they hear about it more? How can they look you up? Where can they find you? How can they know about your daily activities that you're offering, of what they could sign up for? What are some ways? Can you help some of our local parents out?
Well, for Feed the Need, we have, you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Feed the Need Sensory Zone. Or you can find us on the web at www.feedtheneedsensoryzone.org. Um, I've always wanted to do that. But and same for the Unique Care Connect Community Centers, the same name on Instagram and Facebook. And you can go to www.uniquecareconnectcommunitycenter.org. And you'll see all of our
no,
information.
it's uniquecareconnect.org.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Uniquecareconnect.org.
Uniquecareconnect.org.
Okay.
I'm adding
Yeah,
words in.
community
So
center was too long.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. That is long. And the cool thing is, and just going back to collaboration, not competition. If you go to the Feed the Need page, you will see a direct link to the Unique Care Connect Community Center page, and vice versa. However, if you choose to donate, the Unique Care Connect Community Center or uniquecareconnect.org, the web, you go to the website for there, and it just goes to Unique Care Connect Community Center.
Okay.
Likewise for Feed the Need. What I love about us is the community center is the community center. It's the heart. You come in. I'm kind of a visual person, so you think about coming in. But what the Feed the Need Sensory Zone is you go out. And I didn't share all my vision yet, but that's kind of what we do. Especially because if you're talking about nonprofits and things like that, you have to make sure that you specify where your donations are going.
Yeah.
And we love each other. We love each other a lot. But Feed the Need Sensory Zone, the mission is slightly different than the community center, but it all works together. So
It all works together. Oh my gosh. We have thoroughly enjoyed having you, Z, having you, Tiana. I hope this isn't the last time we hear from you. I know Tiana has more to share about what she's doing. And so our listeners are just going to have to stay tuned and get on board, go to these pages, click on their social media, as well as go to their websites and learn more about what they're doing in the community here in Southeast Michigan. And we want to thank you all for joining us tonight. We want to thank you, Paula, Bunny, Z, and Tiana, for your time. And we hope to see you guys next week, same time, same place. You guys enjoy yourselves and have a good evening.
Yes.
Thank
Thank you, ladies.
you. Thank you,
Thank you all.
ladies.
Thank you guys.